everyone, welcome back. If you just saw my other video with the updates on what is going on with the channel, welcome back from that. If not, just see the explanation on that video. I'll leave a link from what is going on, why I haven't uploaded the other video for La Ley de Herodes, and why this is a different video. We're going to talk about a different movie this time around. It's kind of just a small vlog for a movie that I saw some weeks ago that I really enjoyed, but I kind of want to discuss with spoilers, of course, and that is Druk, or Another Drowned. It's the movie that won Best Oscar for foreign film this year. Oh wait, I have some information here in my computer that I'm seeing. And it's by Thomas Winterberg, and particularly I saw it because it's by pretty much my favorite actor, which is Mads Mikkelsen, and it's not only that it was with Mads, but also because him and Thomas Winterberg already worked together in The Hunt, which is also a Danish film, which is a great movie, by the way. That movie is also amazing, and I also recommend it. And Thomas Winterberg is a very interesting director. He is one of the person that initiated the Dogma 95 movement alongside Lars von Trier. One day we will discuss, someday I will discuss manifestos of art, and Dogma 95 is one of the most weird and interesting ones. And the movie, it's I don't want to say it's odd, but it's presented with an interesting premise. The whole premise of the movie is based on these four professors. These four professors that pretty much for some reason or another are kind of downhill in their lives. You know, we have the character of Mads, who finds himself that he's really pretty much, like I said, downhill on his life. Like his marriage is downhill. He's a professor whose classes are no longer inspiring. He no longer has that like spark when he teaches, and he feels like he's boring. And the same for his friend Nicolas, I believe. Sorry if I mispronounce some of the names. Because they feel that, you know, they're getting old, pretty much, you know. And they find out in the 40th birthday. Then they found on the birthday of one of the on Nicolas that he's a psychologist, and on one of the Danish, he's Danish, I think, one of the Danish psychologists, Finn Skardek. I'm so sorry I cannot pronounce Danish names. I'm sorry. He has this theory that that the body apparently lacks alcohol. So if you always keep the what is it? The blood alcohol content to 0.05, you will be at like your top form, right? And by the way, I did look this up just for the sake of this video, because I was like, oh, this is such a dangerous thing to put in a movie, because of course there's going to be like some idiot that is going to be like, oh, this is true, like the Joker, that, you know, that is like, oh, we live in a society, and then there's millions of people following the Joker. I was like, oh, there's going to be, of course, an idiot that is going to be like, oh, this is true, because this is a real psychologist, this Finn Skardek. I cannot say his name. Finn Skarder. I'm so sorry that I can't say the name. Um, uh, there's going to be, because he's a real person, like I said, there's going to be some person that is going to be like, oh, no, 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 he really said that, so it must be true. But no, I was looking up, and he did came up and was like, no, 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 it's not true. Like, they misquoted something I said to make it work for the movie. So, you know, if you see this movie and you think, no, this is not true, like the whole .5, it's not true, do not follow it. The movie does not endorse this. It's for the sake of the movie. And then, you know, they start this experiment. They don't start the experiment, they just discuss it. You know, that they should always have 0.5% of alcohol content on the blood, and they will always be fine, you know, like at their top form. So Martin, Matt's character, tries it, and he finds out that, oh, he's like cool, he's like a cooler teacher, he's like more attentive with his sons and his wife. And then they all start trying it, the 4 friends. One of the characters, I forget his name, I think it's Peter. Yes, it's Peter. Because it's Martin is Nicolas, the one that comes up with the idea. It's Tommy, he's a soccer professor, and Peter, he's a choir professor. And they all try it, and they're doing like great, and they all like, you know, keep it like in a secret that they're drinking in school because they are working while doing this. And they have like their rules, and they're like, if they do this Mythbusters thing where they're like, no, you don't get it. If we sit down and write the results and put it in a paper, then it's not debauchery, it's science, you know? And they start writing down the results, and then they start coming up with more outrageous things, like saying like, oh, what if we go further? What if, you know, like 0.5 is not the real thing? What if, you know, my limit is 0.1, 0.1, and you know, what if we all experiment different limits where we are at the top? And then they start going, of course, further and further and further. They're like, let's go trying at the maximum. Of course, that means getting completely wasted. And of course, shit goes down. And of course, things go as you would expect with such an experiment, where of course is like, okay, well, alcohol bad. But the movie on itself, it's not like that. It's not 28 days like with Sandra Bullock, where she's an alcoholic and alcohol is bad. And, well, with 28 days, it's not that alcohol is bad, it's that she was an alcoholic and she needed to admit it. But the movie is not that alcohol equals bad and therefore you shouldn't drink. It's rather that what they were doing was wrong, you know. They decide to end the experiment when they realize that the solution to their problems wasn't the alcohol. And this all brings them to different conclusions. For instance, you know, Martin, Matt's character, realizes that, you know, his wife actually was cheating on him because he was no longer a good husband, and that this eventually broke up their relationship. And he was like, well, she didn't start cheating on him because he was drinking. This was way before he started drinking. So he was like, well, then we're done. Nicolas decided to stop drinking because he realized he couldn't be a good father. But Peter does something that I don't think I agree, but I kind of get it. Like, there is this student that is very nervous to take a test, and he's like, okay, I will give you alcohol before a test so you can ease your anxieties. And I was like, no, cry, and he, of course, being Danish, they're supposed to be like, they're supposed to explain Soren Kierkegaard, and it's like in anxiety, of course, and he's like, here, drink so you can explain Soren. And I'm like, no, don't give him alcohol. And for the other one, Tommy, it does end badly, where him actually do reaching the bottom and actually becoming an alcoholic and sadly committing suicide. So it does explain how alcohol affects them all differently. But at the end of the movie, they're not all like, okay, we will never touch alcohol again. Actually, if anything, it ends with the graduation of all the students, that they're all able to graduate, and all of them celebrating by drinking. You know, like, oh, we're young and we're gonna drink and we're gonna celebrate and live life. And they're like, okay, we're also still alive, even though they just lost Tommy. And we're also gonna start drinking again. But, you know, the best way that I think I can explain it is the way that my best friend explained it. And the funny thing is that my best friend is a person that doesn't drink alcohol. He actually kind of doesn't like alcohol, but he was like, well, I think the way that this works is that what the movie was trying to say is that the alcohol is not a bad thing or a good thing. It's rather a thing that you can enjoy, but not to an excess. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's rather what you make of it. And I think that's actually the point of the movie, because the opinion of the producer is, he said this, is it should not just be about drinking, it's about being awakened to life, right? And how the movie was dedicated to his daughter. It was going to be how the story of the world would have been different without alcohol. But sadly, she passed away in an accident. I don't think it was related to alcohol before the movie started. Well, no, they had some scenes. She was going to be the daughter of Martin. But they had some scenes, but she, 4 days into filming, here I'm seeing, they decided to work more into the tragedy of drinking. And, you know, as a person that does enjoy drinking, but also has seen the dark side of drinking, like I have had my issues with drinking, I do also see it like that, because I enjoy drinking very much. Like, yes, I enjoy having beers, I enjoy drinking with my friends, but I also have had those times when I've been like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I also had those times when you know, I've been like, oh, that was too much, I shouldn't have done that. And of course, this movie, like I said, it's not your 28 days when you're like, oh, I will never touch alcohol again. But it is a movie that kind of teaches you, oh, maybe the issue isn't the alcohol, the issue is you. You know, like the issue itself is not the alcohol. Like, for instance, the issue with Martin wasn't that he was drinking, but rather that he chose to fix his problems with alcohol, when actually that wasn't the solution. The solution for his marriage wasn't drinking. The solution for his marriage was probably talking with his wife. But then, in order to celebrate or to do things or to enjoy some things, maybe sometimes is to drink. And that is fine. And also not to drink is fine. And that is kind of what the movie was trying to convey. You know, that sometimes having a drink is okay. And I think that that's kind of what the movie tries to say. The acting is really good, particularly because they have to act drunk for so long. It must have been so tiring, and it was cringe in the best way. You know, when you see a friend that is keep drinking and drinking, and you're like, please stop, please please don't drink, and then they drink and they do something embarrassing, and you're like, no. It was kind of like that, and it was quite good to see it. So I really do recommend another round. Kind of does spoil it, but if you still feel on the good side of seeing it, like I said, it's not a movie that will change your life or your opinion about alcohol. It's more about the journey and how people enjoy alcohol. What does it bring? How did these people experience alcohol? How did youth experience alcohol? And also from Thomas Winterberg, The Hunt, also with Mats. Amazing movie as well. This one is more of a comedy drama, because it has, again, like those moments where you're like, holy shit, they just did that while they were drunk, and it's like, ah. And The Hunt is definitely more of a drama film that is more keeps you more at the edge of your seat. This one is more on the bit of the comedy side. So I recommend that movie, and I hope you see that movie and enjoy it. And on my next video, like I said, I'm gonna check if I can talk publicly about my thesis. I still don't know if I can. If not, on the next video I will discuss a little bit of identity in fiction by using a series that I think a lot of people like, which is Lucifer from Fox and the comic. If not, we're going to talk about truth in fiction by using the things I did for my thesis. So either one of those two is the next video. It will take a little bit, like I said, because for both of them, either I need to resume my thesis or do a little bit more research for the Lucifer subject. So it will take a little bit, but I will be working on either one of those two. In the meantime, maybe I will see another movie and do a quick review or something while I work on those two. So see you guys.